Welcome to Talking Giants, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Penik. We got ourselves a Commanders preview. The 5-2 Commanders, or 6-2, or whatever they are. Well, we're the opposite. We're 2-6, the New York Football Giants, and we're going to preview this game. Giants' second matchup of the year with the Commanders. The first time they've seen a team twice. Get to see Jaden Daniels twice. And I think Jaden Daniels has grown as a quarterback by a significant margin since the last time the Giants played him. Justin, before we get into this episode is brought to you by some special people. We got Wandering Mick. Is that Mick Markle? I don't know, but he's wandering. Not all are lost. Some are wandering. And then Peter Popovich, who is the son of once great NBA head coach Greg Popovich. Justin, who are these people besides Greg Popovich's kid?
Wow, thank you, Greg Popovich's son. You can go to patreon.com/Talking Giants. Again, $2 a month plus some other tiers. Hang out with us live while we're recording the shows. Bobby Skinner will send you some stickers in the mail, plus there's some shirt raffles a couple times a month. Patreon.com/Talking Giants. Hey, you never know. You never know. Maybe this Sunday is the Sunday that it all gets turned around. The Giants beat a team at home finally. They score a lot of points at home. They beat the team that's leading in the NFC East. And maybe, just maybe, it's the start of something new. You never know, and you want to be there for it. Patreon.com/Talking Giants.
It could be the start of something new. I don't know if it's going to be the season being turned around.
You know what's unbelievable? I just looking at the box score again for this first matchup, week 2. There's a lot of categories that the Commanders did beat us in. So I'm kind of just plucking here, just picking categories that I want to talk about. The Giants only had 8 third downs, and they were 50% on those third downs. They were 1 for 2 on fourth down. They were 3 for 3 in red zone efficiency, 1-1 in goal-to-go efficiency. The Commanders were 0 for 6 and 0 for 3 in red zone and goal-to-go efficiency, and the Giants lost the football game. But it's just incredible how they lost that football game. But like you said, I do think this is a different Jaden Daniels than what we saw week 2. But Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong. I still think that Jaden Daniels can maybe still do some of the things that they did in week 2, and I think they can continue to do that pretty successfully against us.
Yeah, there's things that Jaden Daniels is doing differently, which is, one, attacking the middle of the field better. He's not doing it nonstop. But honestly, those first 3 games of the year, I know we'll remember that Bengals Monday Night Football game with the touchdown at the end, which is down the field. Those first 3 games, Jaden Daniels really showed no desire to really push the ball down the field or in the middle of the field at all. Right? Since then, he really has. And we talk about all the throws behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, you remember the Giants. That game, Jaden completed 12 passes behind the line of scrimmage in that game, and they had a lot of success with it too. That makes up a third of their throws behind the line of scrimmage. So, not everything from that game is transferable. But I just think Jaden Daniels is doing a lot more as a passer. He's not really attacking down the field, but just the middle of the field. He's getting the quick game, a better grasp of that, while also still doing the things that made him successful early in the season, which is scrambling, specifically on third down. It's just every time you watch him drop back on third down, you're like, all right, if his first read is not there, he's going to take off and run, and he's usually successful with it too.
Yeah, and Bobby, the thing that I did a video on this for JM Football a couple weeks ago. Austin Eckler has 19 catches on the year. He's 19 receptions on 21 targets. That's third on the team so far this year, but he is 4th on the team in receiving. The way that they've been able to get him the ball in the receiving game is very, very fun. I mean, you have the screens, but they throw a lot of wide receiver screens as well. But they almost will run a pseudo screen or get lead blockers in front with running little angle routes out of the backfield. They're a big fan. I think they ran this pretty successfully against the Ravens, where they ran mesh on third down, but they did a wheel route from Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield, and it just got people almost like 2 guys running picks to get Eckler wide open on that wheel route. So a lot of their big plays this year have come on either kind of getting the ball to Eckler on screens or even just getting the ball to him out of the backfield in some creative and different ways where there could be lead blockers out in front of him, like when he runs that quick little angle route out of the backfield, and you can get 2 offensive linemen, boom, just right in front of him. So I think even though we've seen Jaden Daniels take steps up as a passer since week 2, I still do think the little dink and dunk stuff with yards after the catch to follow, if the Giants are not going to press And if they're not going to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage, then I do think the screens and the quick game, it's going to be there for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. And I think that Cliff Kingsbury in this offense, they will take it all day, right?
Yeah, and the Giants haven't really played like that recently. Now, one reason they do that against the Commanders is all, the run game, right? You don't want your DBs getting pinned down and getting those big runs on the edge. But, like this Commanders team does run the ball more than they throw it right now. But I do want to start with just talking about Jaden as whole. Like you said, they will take those easy screens and those quick types of plays. So you got to get more aggressive. And the Giants, I think, are just going to play a lot of man coverage in this game, which they've done a lot of this year. And I think the Giants can win those matchups outside of the Terry McLaurin matchup. But I would take them, with, Flott versus, Noah Brown and Phillips versus, whoever they're going to throw out there in the slot. Tight end like Newman versus Ertz. I can live with that matchup all day long. It's just, really it's about containing Jaden Daniels in the pocket, which is so much easier said than done. You can keep your rush lanes. They got their hands on him in that last game, Justin.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to get it. So like when they blitzed on third down, they were able to get their hands on him. They just weren't able to bring him down, and he makes those plays. But like just to talk about who Jaden Daniels is, like he's not throwing the ball down the field like 20. Like you don't have to worry about the deep passes nonstop. He'll make you pay, but like he's how about this? He has the same amount of deep completions as Daniel Jones this year, removing the Hail Mary. And even if you had the Hail Mary, it's only one more, obviously. They're throwing it at a very similar rate. Jaden Daniels doesn't throw the ball as many times per game as DJ, but like Jaden Daniels throws it technically less than 3 times per game, like 2.9. DJ's throwing it 4 times per game. So he's not pushing the ball down the field very often, and he's not overly good at it when he does. But he will make you pay if you keep on leaving it there.
What's the difference in completion percentage? Do you have that?
Yeah, Jaden is better than Daniel Jones.
Okay, so I mean, it's one of those things of like
Jaden's completing 34%. Daniel Jones is completing 25%.
Okay, so I think
Jaden's bottom half of the league as they're not getting deep explosive plays. Now they're capable of. They have. If you leave Terry McLaurin one-on-one, they will take those shots, but it's not a huge part of their offense. Where they've grown is attacking the middle of the field. Jaden Daniels has done a lot better job versus zone coverage since those first few games of the year. But just the reality is they're so good on third down because they can draw up whatever passing concept, and if the first or second read is not there, Jaden takes off. And you can it happened in the Giants game, watching the Bears game last week, where it's like they got him, and he jumps out of a sack and ends up getting a first down. Like the only 3 QBs who are better than Jaden on third down right now are Lamar, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. I think that's pretty fucking good category right there. But he is trusting his eyes a lot more as a passer compared to the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, 5.5 yards after the catch per completion. Because I think one of the reasons why they're so good on third down is even if they have like an insurmountable 3rd and 20, 3rd and 12, they will throw it. They will throw a screen. They will throw it underneath, and they're going to bank on their guys getting yards after the catch. That's what they've done. A lot of the successful screens that they've run have actually come on third downs and throwing it out to the running back or even throwing it out to the wide receiver on these screens. So I understand that's not. I'm talking about these screens over and over again because it's just something that it's impressed me about Cliff Kingsbury so far this year, and it's kind of crazy that nobody's been able to fully figure it out yet. When it's not like it's his first time in the NFL. He took a year off, and maybe he's added some stuff, but I feel like that's not typically what happens. So
yeah, and a big reason why they're winning though too is they're the number 3 rushing offense in the NFL.
Huge.
They're second in yards per carry. Like they've gotten this run game going with Brian Robinson and Eckler, as well too. And then you add Jaden Daniels' legs. To me, he's closer to Lamar than he is the 3rd best rushing QB in the NFL. They've got a rushing attack that's hard to account for, and they will get out on the edges. Like your DB's got to make tackles. 2 of their big runs in that week 2 game where Brian Robinson had the 2 longest runs of his career. One was because Deontay Banks didn't play correctly. The other one is because Cordell Flott had a pathetic, tackle attempt on a 4th and short or 3rd and short. I can't remember exactly which down it was. So it's like the DB's got to be involved, which I don't have much faith in outside of Drew Phillips. So this makes it a hard offense to prepare for when they have this type of rushing offense, an efficient passing attack, and then a quarterback who is just so hard to bring down. Like, we could talk about the pass rush and the Commanders' O-line and stuff, but the Commanders' O-line benefits from the fact that teams don't just pin the ears back, because if you go around the pocket, he's going to rush up through it, and it's just really hard to bring him down. Like, Jaden Daniels has been pressured the 12th most in the NFL. The difference between him and other guys is he scrambles. Like, on 97 pressure dropbacks, he's scrambled 30 times. 1 out of every 3 times he's pressured in the NFL, he scrambles. Like, you just got to figure out a way to finish. Whether you're Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Azeez Ojulari, Elijah Chapman, like, you're going to be able to get rush, right? This Commanders' offensive line is not as good as the numbers say. You're going to be able to get rush, or you better be able to. It's just about being able to finish those plays or just stopping Jaden Daniels from getting those third down scrambles. You're not going to stop it completely, but you can't let him get it every single time, which is basically what they did, and what the Commanders have been doing.
Yeah, 8.2 yards per scramble for Jaden Daniels so far on the year. And you mentioned that the Giants had a hard time bringing him down. Really, there was no Giants conventional pass rusher that brought him down. They had 5 sacks week 2, but Brian Burns didn't get a sack. Dexter Lawrence didn't get a sack. Kayvon Thibodeau didn't get a sack. It was Jason Pinnock that had 2. Micah McFadden, Drew Phillips, and Bobby Okereke all had each 1 sack. So that's I wonder if they're going to try and poke the bear again with that high blitz
on
rate.
First down. Don't save your blitzes for third downs. Get a little more aggressive. Throw some shit at them on first and second down, because you can't just wait till third down to make those plays on them.
Maybe you force a negative play in the run game too, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, which is going to be tough. But they do still struggle in the red zone, which was obviously an issue in week 2, because it's just they have so much less space to operate, and they really don't have a winner out there outside of Terry McLaurin. So when they do get the red zone, you do have to limit them to 3 points, which the Giants did 7 times in that week 2 game.
Yeah.
But,
Commanders had some penalties too inside the red zone that the Giants got kind of lucky at times for certain drives, but you gotta clamp down, which the Giants overall I feel like on defense have. But I mean, also let's allow some punts too. Not every single drive needs to end in 3 for the Commanders.
Hot take: they're gonna punt at least 1 time in this game.
I hope so.
Justin, why don't you talk to us about something?
I'll talk to you about something. I'll talk to you about 5-Hour Energy. Boom! 5-Hour Energy shots. 1 margarita, 2 margarita, 3 margarita shots. Help you feel alert and energized. Each shot is packed with vitamins, nutrients, and as much caffeine as the leading premium coffee. Contains 0 sugar. How do you like them apples? Drink it in seconds, feel it in minutes, lasts for hours. So pleasing to say off the tongue. Drink it in seconds, feel it in minutes, last for hours. You can even sing it. I won't. Available in a wide range of great flavors across regular strength and extra strength varieties. So, how you can enjoy 5-Hour Energy is you can head to www.5hourenergy.com and use code JOHNBOY to save 20% off your first order. Yeah, so you can head to that site and you can go to the store and buy 5-Hour Energy, of course, but you can save 20% off if you use that code JOHNBOY. That's www.5hourenergy.com with code JOHNBOY to save 20% off your order. You're definitely going to be glad you did.
You'll be glad you did. But here's one last. Actually, never mind. I was going to ask. No, we'll ask after the game. I was going to ask if this is Azeez Ojulari's last game as a New York Giant.
Oh no!
I think it might be. Like the more I know we talked about it on mailbag, but like Ian Rappaport saying on Monday morning or Tuesday morning, being like the Giants would need to be blown away for, like, he doesn't tweet that for no reason. Like, he means like, hey, up your offers and maybe the Giants will be willing to.
And I understand your point on the mailbag too about like, Azeez, he doesn't have the career that some of these other pass rushers have, but like, okay, who would you rather have on your team right now? Azeez Ojulari, who's forcing a lot of negative plays, or like Jadeveon Clowney? Like, even though Jadeveon Clowney has a name and he's a good run stopper and he had a good year for the Ravens last year. Like, I really think, like, if you're a team that's competing and needs a pass rusher and you're thinking about the playoffs and producing those negative plays in the playoffs, I think Azeez Ojulari, being like literally 24 years old right now, I think that's an interesting pairing, and you could even treat it as like a half-year tryout too if you want to extend the guy because he's having a good year, so far. So if you're a team that's kind of in it, why wouldn't Azeez Ojulari kind of tempt you? But obviously, if you're the Giants, don't just take a bag of chips for him too.
Yeah, we'll see. For the Giants offense, what are your thoughts going into this? They did have success offensively in this game last time. Couldn't kick a field goal. Malik Neighbors drops a fourth down catch. Devin Singletary, fumbles the ball in Commanders territory. This is again, whenever we're talking about this passing offense right now and this losing streak, there's no winning. What I will say is this Commanders run defense stinks. Like, that's the one thing that's stayed bad. Their passing offense has been able to get by. They've done well as a scoring defense. Dan Quinn's done good with them. They've been a little more disciplined than what they were earlier in the season, so maybe some of the Giants' success they had won't be there. But they're 25th in rushing yards per game, 29th in yards per carry, 26th in rushing success rate. And the Giants average 6 yards per carry running duo at crazy at them, right? Will they continue to play from those light boxes? Will they stack it? You put together 2 really good rushing games in a row, New York Giants. You have not been able to do it this year. Tyrone Tracy, I'm expecting him to play. He's a limited participant in practice on Thursday. He's making all the right steps in the concussion. I'm expecting him to play. Devin Singletary played well in this game last time. Run the ball on a bad rushing unit. There's been a couple times this year where we talked about bad rushing units and the Giants don't get it going.
It's nauseating.
Make it happen. Make the running game happen. Chris Hubbard at left tackle makes you a better running team than having Josh Azudu out there. Lean on these guys and make some plays in the run game.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. If the Giants, they actually did produce a good amount of plays. The Commanders produced more, but they did produce a good amount of plays of 18, 19 plus yards. I think it was around the 4, 5, 6 territory. But still, if you're not going to produce a ton of explosive plays, this is still a Commanders defense that allows 28th they're in average time of possession, 26th in plays per drive, 27th in yards per drive, but then slightly better in points per drive. They're 22nd in points per drive. But the Giants are going to be able to run their offense. And even, I think it was the week 2 game where they averaged 5.9 yards per carry on the ground. Another reason why it's a crazy stat why they lost that game, when you're averaging over 5 yards per carry, but the Commanders averaged better on the ground on their end. So the Giants should be able to do what they want offensively. They should be able to run the ball. I actually do feel a little bit better about Tyrone Tracy running the ball than Devin Singletary. I think that he fits what this Giants team can, even with some zone stuff. I think he's just a little bit more explosive. I think he's been I don't want to say better. I feel like eye test he's better yards after contact.
He is better. Better. He's more explosive. He's a better zone runner. And Chris Hubbard playing has made a difference, right? Chris Hubbard playing made a difference. If Josh Azudu's playing, I don't think they have all those explosive runs that they had last week.
That's a good running defense.
Yeah, that was against a good rushing defense. So it'll be interesting to see. My main thing will the Commanders play from light boxes? Because if they do, that's when the Giants love to run duo. If they play from stack boxes, the Giants will run inside zone, which is similar, but they haven't been as good at, despite the fact that they had a great showing of it last week. And then, are they going to continue to leave Malik Neighbors one-on-one? Because if he is, feed him the rock. He had that great game in week 2. He will have the matchup no matter who they have at corner. They will have the matchup. And then here's something the Giants can learn from since the last matchup. What's happened is, well, if they do decide to change it up and double team Malik Neighbors, guess who's been producing? Darius Slayton.
Yep.
Use Darius Slayton, especially on third downs. Wandale, I think, can have a better game compared to the last few weeks because they do like to blitz and play man coverage, and that's where Wandale can have his money. And it's just, can they hold up pass protection-wise without Andrew Thomas? They were great in week 2, but you have Andrew Thomas there. Can they hold up? Chris Hubbard's been bad. How much do they help him? They helped the tackles out a good amount in the last game. Illuminor's, got the matchup with Dorrance Armstrong, who's been their best pass rusher. Will Chris Hubbard make passing the ball that much more difficult in this game? And then, with Daniel, we don't need to do Daniel Jones stuff over and over again. Like we talked about going into this game. He can throw the ball to Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton against man coverage. Avoid fucking disaster plays. and like avoid disaster plays and hit the throws that are there to be made. Like it's as simple as that versus Commanders passing defense.
Yeah, I'm putting Malik Neighbors in motion a ton. Malik Neighbors has been the best wide receiver in the NFL by far. There is a wide margin in terms of catches and targets and yards when he's put in motion. I think the Commanders game early in the year, the Browns game was another game where they put him in motion very often, and he got some big plays. And put him in motion, and then that helps Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is going to be, and he is, a pre-snap read quarterback, and we're going to determine where we're going with the ball basically before the snap, then putting Malik Neighbors in motion and seeing if he's double covered or single covered or what the defense is running, man coverage, zone coverage, all that stuff is going to be super helpful. Dan Quinn could disguise it, but odds are, Daniel Jones has done well with Malik Neighbors when he's been put in pre-snap motion, and hopefully that can give Daniel Jones, this Giants offense, some sort of clues about what defense the Commanders are going to be in. And Bobby, I know you don't think that, you may think this is a coincidence. Daniel Jones is 0 for 6 with 0 passing touchdowns and 0 rushing touchdowns and 6 home starts over the last 2 seasons. Stop this being. This is
okay. What's the reason for that?
I don't know. If I knew the reason, and if they knew the reason, then I guess it wouldn't happen. But it's astounding how different it is from home and away, and it's not very good on the road either. They just don't score at home, and I don't know the reason. So I would love that to not be a talking point.
So it's not a coincidence.
I don't know, but I'm not. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating because I know I there's a lot of people that go to these games and that want to enjoy something, and it's always slightly better when you're watching it on TV versus when we're sitting there at home and people are spending a lot of money.
Play well at home. It is a coincidence. Play well at home. They were, great at home in 2022. This year, it's the opposite. Just they're not a good team, so they're going to have some bad splits somewhere. So we'll see. But I think this Commanders team has improved quite a bit since that Week 2 matchup. So and the home and away splits. But we'll see how everything goes. All right, Justin, I want to talk to you guys about something before we get to the segmented part of the show, and that is Corona. Because you know what? I always try to be a fan that never loses, even though it's freaking hard not because the Giants, but just because of the Yankees. But here's what I mean. The Giants don't win every single week, but even when they lose, I'm still loving the game. I still got passion. I love football. I'm still loving it. Because whether it's a big deep ball, right? Daniel Jones more than Jaden Daniels, actually same amount, or some third and short conversions, or just a great tailgate out in the parking lot, there's always something to cheer for. And the best beer to pair with awesome moments, Corona. I got my fridge stocked full of it. I'm ready to have one and watch the Giants play the Commanders 1 o'clock. Corona's about finding the maximum amount of joy within every moment of the game, win or lose, at home or on the road, despite the splits. It's the perfect beer to go along with watching football and all the moments that come with it. So cheers to everyone who loves the game beyond the scoreboard. Corona, for the fans who never lose. Get yours at ordercorona.com for 21 plus. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Is it the fans' fault that are we too harsh on the team that's why they're the home and away splits?
No, and that's what I can't stand is that
that's the only reason that can be there for.
I don't know.
Besides just being a coincidence.
I'm not even sitting here saying like I have a reason. I'm sitting here just saying like it's a fact that it is just different. And again, my experience of I fucking wake up early in the morning to get for a 1 o'clock game to get there at 6:30, 6:15 in the morning. It's frustrating. And then the amount of money that comes out of everybody's pockets that go to these games, whether you're a regular season ticket holder or you even go for one game, because the team sucks and you still have to pay a shit ton to go to one game, it's very frustrating to just have some sort of excitement to go into the game, and then every single time you're just utterly disappointed. So
yeah, it's an awful coincidence. Hopefully John Mayer notices it, and hopefully those home games bite a little bit more, and changes are made that need to be made. We now welcome on our weatherman, Jolly Olive, or as Anthony in the chat is calling you, Jelly Roll. Jolly, what's going on?
Nothing much, Bobby. Happy to be fully focused on Giants football for the rest of the year now that baseball's over and done with. It feels like the season is truly starting right now. 0-0 week 1. Can't wait to get at it.
It's a good way to look
Your
at it.
baseball season's been over for a little while. You should have been focused already.
No,
What's the
stop
weather
it.
looking like in MetLife?
Weather's looking interesting now. If you're sitting upper deck like Justin Penik is, you're going to want to bring your sunscreen because it's going to be not a lot of wind, not a lot of clouds. Sun's going to be out.
What's the temperature?
We're getting back
Especially
down,
on Justin's side of the stadium. You get some
Right,
good sun on that
right.
side.
You're going to be beat red. It's going to be lower 60s, so we're getting back to normal fall weather. It's like 80 today for some reason.
So you want to know what I do?
What do you do?
Joe Judge inspires me. I wear a jacket and I put my hood up because I don't want to get raccoon eyes when I record the post game pod, and I'm not taking off my glasses. I have prescription glasses.
Yeah.
So what I did, and 2 weeks ago it was hot. It was hot. That Eagles game when I went with Chelsea, I wore a jacket, and I'm like Joe Judge.
I think it was week 2. Was it week 2 last year or the year before where the Giants beat the Panthers led by Baker Mayfield?
That was 2022.
I got
years ago.
really burnt
Yeah.
in that game because I was just not prepared.
But it's worth it because sitting on that side of the stadium is worth it because when it's cold, then you have the sun on you. So I'll take whatever hot games because I can't sit in the darkness when it's also cold and windy.
You'll take
I
it.
sat on the other side in 2019 for the Giants-Dolphins game, and I thought I was going to die. It was so cold.
Yeah, I was good at that game.
I felt sick afterwards. All right, what do we got for trivia this week?
Trivia is great this week. I'm pretty proud of it. It's going to be one of those where you guys text me a list of answers. You can answer however many times you want, but if one is wrong, they're all wrong. That's the beat that we got going on. This is a great matchup historically for the Giants since 2000. They're 32-15-1 against Washington. It's easily their best divisional matchup. But funnily enough, or I guess, not funnily enough, interestingly, since
I don't think
2000,
funnily is a word unless you're trying to funnel something.
funnily is definitely a word, Bobby. It's definitely a word. Not counting quarterbacks, 3 different players have had a 3-touchdown game against Washington since 2000. So you can send me as many names as you want. There's 3 available. If you get all 3, you get 3 points. If any of the names you send me are wrong, you get 0 points. 3 different players have done it.
Okay.
3 players have had 3 touchdown games. All right.
Yep.
Jeez, this is tough.
It's a good one. Well, last week we had a mess because Penik brought up the answer to the trivia question within the first 10 minutes.
All
of
right,
the
so I'm
show.
sending you 2 right now.
Okay. It's exciting.
I'm sending you 3, and it's a big swing.
Wow. Wow.
What happened?
Wow. Big swing is correct. For those who don't know, the standings currently in trivia are Bobby Skinner 10, Justin Penik 9. Leader at the end of the year gets a Giants jersey of their choosing, courtesy of me. Bobby, you sent me Tiki Barber and Saquon Barkley. Only Tiki Barber was correct, so you'll get 0 points this week.
Saquon didn't have 3 in the 2018
Saquon
or 2019 blowouts?
Has had 4 different multi-touchdown games against Washington, none of them 3-touchdown games.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Justin sent me 3 names, and all of them are correct.
Oh!
Tiki Barber, OBJ, and Larry Donnell was the other one.
Oh, the Larry Donnell game. Oh, my
had a
God. That was Thursday Night
3-touchdown
Football.
game. Yes, it was.
I remember where I was. I remember sitting at a Beef O'Brady's watching that game. I can't believe that game slipped my mind.
Big swing. So Justin Penik, I can't high-five you. I'm impartial. Justin Penik takes a 12-10 lead in trivia this week. But we still got half the season left, so anything, it's all up for grabs.
Larry
Nice job.
Donnell. I can't believe I forgot that one.
Nice job, Justin.
Right.
That was good. I didn't high-five you because I'm
Larry
impartial,
Donnell
but
did
that was
not
good.
start himself in fantasy that week. I remember that being a thing afterwards.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, he benched himself in fantasy that week, and he scored 3 touchdowns.
Humble God.
All right, now we got our speaking of fantasy, we have our fantasy draft. Justin almost had the highest scoring week of the year last week with 54.6 points, 0.2 off of my week 5 single, the top of the season. I had a good week as well too, 49 points, but so I only fall back to 8.5 points back total from Justin. And then Jolly was last once again with 36.5 points. He's 72 points off the lead. Where
Anybody's game.
Jolly, like the Giants, the season's essentially over, but you're never mathematically eliminated because of the
Starts this week. That's what I said at the top of the show.
because of the new format. Justin, you're up first this week. Who you picking?
This is a good week to not have the number 1 overall pick because I feel like there is a lot of depth. I feel like there's an argument for Tyrone Tracy to go number 1, Malik Neighbors to go number 1, and Brian Robinson Jr. to go number 1. Good. There's an argument for all three, but I am going to go kind of safe. I feel like his floor is the highest. I am going to go Brian Robinson Jr. from the Washington Commanders as the number 1 pick. I think it's fair to say that the Commanders are going to score a touchdown inside the red zone against the Giants this matchup, and odds are Brian Robinson Jr. gets over 100 rushing yards and he gets that rushing touchdown.
All right, but he doesn't get the PPR. Jolly, who do you got? You're up second this week.
Bobby, your wraparound is looking nice this week, dude. It's looking nice.
It is looking nice.
I'm gonna take the obvious one. I'm just gonna take Neighbors here.
Malik Neighbors was number 1 on my big board.
It's looking nicey. Who?
Yeah, so that was number 1 on my big board. But I wanted to be in the 3-4 spot because I felt great about the front four. Yeah. So I'm going to take Tyrone Tracy first because I got to show support to the New York Giants. So Tyrone Tracy is going to be my number 1 pick. Commanders' bad rushing defense we talked about. Tracy's starting to get rolling a little bit. Chris Hubbard helps in that. And then I'm going to go Terry McLaurin with my second pick. Let me ask you that: is Terry McLaurin the longest tenured skill player in the NFC East?
Oh,
he came before Darius Slayton, right?
I mean, they're the same, but Terry McLaurin played week 1, so, and he was a first-round pick, or not a first round. He was a third-round pick. Slayton was a fifth-round pick. I love McLaurin that year, for the record. I think he is because it's nobody on Philly. Unless Goddard was around as Ertz's backup.
CeeDee Lamb, older?
No, CeeDee Lamb was the 2020 draft.
Okay.
Zeke would technically count, but once you leave, you're not tenured anymore.
You're not the longest tenured, right?
Like I think he is the longest tenured player for the same team. Obviously, Saquon would be, but like for the same team in the NFC East.
I think I'd agree with that.
That's crazy. Love Terry McLaurin. Him being out in that Daniel Jones Week 4 game actually made a difference because he was cooking early that year. All right, Jolly, your second pick.
Yeah, between two names, doing some final scans, but I think I know who I'm going with. Yeah. One last look. Had a great game last week. Think he's going to either continue building on it or the passing offense is going to completely
Wow, Noah Brown.
Taking Darius Slayton. Thank you.
Darius Slayton, how about that? No Noah Brown love?
I know, I'm not letting that Hail Mary fool me.
Is it Darius Slayton's last game as a New York Giant, Jolly Olive?
No.
Nope, shouldn't be. Justin, you got back-to-back picks.
I could go for a very risky pick here.
Oh.
I actually think there's three good options.
Give me Wan'Dale Robinson.
That's the safest one.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Devin Singletary in case Tyrone Tracy doesn't play.
Wow.
Tracy's gonna play. Man.
Odds are he is going to play, but concussion protocol, you never know.
That's a crazy pick. All right, Jolly.
It is a crazy pick.
I got my eye on somebody, Jolly. Speaking, we just talked about him a couple of seconds ago. Jolly, who do you got?
I don't know if this aligns with what you're thinking. I'm between two commanders right now.
Mm-hmm.
Left hand up.
Where are we?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and swipe Zach Ertz.
Bam! Thank you. Yeah. I used that misdirection. How about that? I want Austin Eckler.
Yeah, he wants Austin Eckler.
That's who I was between, him and Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I really want Austin Eckler.
Zach Ertz has had a couple really nice games back to back. So
yeah, but it's he's not going to get a ton of yards, so you're kind of betting on like, all right, 4 or 5 catches and a touchdown for him to be really productive. And where Eckler, there's just a better shot. So I'm going to go Austin Eckler, and then do I go Noah Brown, who's like technically their wide receiver too? Do I bet that the Giants get Theo a little more involved in this game?
That's who I'm between.
You know, like the Giants in that game had a lot of high lows with Theo and Malik Neighbors, and they got the low with Neighbors. The issue is I think the Giants wide receivers are going to have success this week, so they're not going to throw at Theo. So I'm going to go Noah Brown. He is their wide receiver too. So I'm going to go safe with that. Jolly, your last pick.
Yeah, I think that was the right call.
Maybe I'll get a Hail Mary touchdown.
Yeah, I guess just give me Theo.
I'm so excited for whenever Theo gets like that first 80-yard game. But it's just DJ doesn't throw to like the big-bodied make-a-play tight ends, really. All right, Justin, who do you got?
I mean, I could go. These guys basically have the same amount of catches on the year, but one guy has 15 yards per reception, the other guy's averaging below 10. Give me, I guess, go Drew Phillips. Give me Noah Brown.
Dude, how many weeks in a row are you going to take guys that we already took?
All right, never mind. Then give me Olamide Zacchaeus.
Just pay attention.
Olamide Zacchaeus. He was a wee little man. You know, when I was a kid, you guys know the Bible song, Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he?
Definitely, man.
Dance of the trumpeter, dance of the trumpeter.
You don't know
dance
that?
Of the trumpeter.
You guys both know that?
I know. Well, no, I know. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he.
Which
is Barney, I believe.
I saw a little person when I was like 6 years old and just started singing at him the Zacchaeus song. My parents were not happy about it, but it's 6, so you can't really get mad at me. All right, Giant factors this week. Justin, who do you have as a Giant factor for Week 9?
Don't take
at
me.
home versus the Commanders?
Bobby Okereke.
Okay. Had a bad game last week.
You know, it was a typical Bobby Okereke. Sometimes
It got better as it went along.
But it got better as it went along, and that's kind of been somewhat the Bobby Okereke experience. The second half of last year, he was tremendous, but the first half of last year, I feel like he had some games where in the first half it's bad, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, this is a game against the Commanders, but they're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to get Brian Robinson Jr. involved. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is going to be a threat with his legs. We need Bobby Okereke to be the Mike linebacker, be one of the best linebackers in the NFL, lead this defense, get everybody in the right spot, wear that green dot, do you, man, be a playmaker, be a Giant factor, Bobby Okereke.
Jolly, who is your Week 9 Giant factor?
You know what happens when teams lose 6 of their first 8 games, Bobby and Justin?
Yes, I do, actually. I have a lot of experience with that. Tell us.
The roster becomes a land of opportunity. Do you know who seized an opportunity last week and was elevated yesterday? Greg Stroman. Greg Stroman's my Giant factor. I kind of want him to just keep carving out a spot for himself on this roster and keep seizing opportunities. If we're, giving a tough look at Deonte Banks right now, and if that happens again this game, Greg Stroman, keep making a name for yourself. Even
Wait
though
a
you're
second. Did they sign Greg Stroman to the active roster?
I've heard that he was elevated for Week 8.
That's an incredible Giant factor.
Thank you.
It'll be.
There was an outside shot that you might have taken him because I know how much you like him.
A guy that I'm not even sure is on the active roster right now.
Dude, I don't even know if he's going to be elevated for this game, Jolly.
That would be an incredible
You don't elevate
Giant
guys
factor.
until Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, he's my Giant factor regardless.
And he wasn't
that's
signed to
incredible.
the active roster. And
That's
everyone's
absolutely
practicing. Adore's going to practice. Flawed is practicing. Like he's not even going to be on the game day roster.
Like that's incredible.
We know
Like we've had some bad ones. I picked Janoris Jenkins the day before, like hours before he was released. I picked Golden Tate the day, in a game he was suspended. We've had some bad Giant factors.
Yeah.
That's quite literally the worst. He's not even going to be on the 53-man roster for this game.
We can't say that with certainty.
Maybe we can't.
We can't.
You
say
need
with
to be
certainty.
locked in for Saturday at 4:00 when we figure out who the Giants are elevating for that game.
Are we allowed to substitute Giant
Not to
factors?
trade your Giant factor.
Trade your Giant factor.
Tweet at all three of us. Talking Giants. Bobby Skinner.
I stand by it. I mean, I'm not going to go out here and pick,
All right, well, you're done. Just
Daniel
stop.
Jones.
You're done. Bobby.
Deontay Banks, don't suck. Like start to become a better player. Like forget the effort stuff, all that. Just start to become a better player. Can you become like somewhat of an advantage for the New York Giants? You were traded up for in the first round. We're now hitting the second half of your year 2. It's time to be a big boy and be a real player in the NFL. Somebody that we have as a piece of why the Giants can turn this around eventually, and not a piece that needs to be replaced, and not a reason why a ding on the current GM. Like start to do that. And Terry McLaurin is not Justin Jefferson. He's not CeeDee Lamb. He's a good wide receiver. He actually has better numbers than CeeDee Lamb this year. He's a good wide receiver 1 in the NFL. He's really good. But you got to win that matchup in and this matchup for the years going on. Like, this is going to be a matchup. So win that matchup, Deontay Banks. Like, it sounds stupid, but don't suck. Like, don't be a disadvantage for this team this week. I'm not expecting you to be a superstar. Don't be a disadvantage, which is what you have been this year in the run defense and in coverage. Deontay Banks be a giant factor. All right, spread picks. Jolly, who are spread picks brought to us by?
Before we do that, I just want to say my foresight is on par right now because I've had the feeling that one of you would take Deontay Banks. And that was my initial lean. And I thought, how funny would it be if I just went Greg?
You made me think that I missed a transaction, which I have every Giants transaction
I don't believe that you did.
On a Google Doc, and I had to look it up. Like, is Greg
But Bobby,
Sherman
this is
signed
the
to
better
the active roster?
me making one of the worst Giant factors ever is a better outcome than me taking yours because now we got to listen to that impassioned speech.
Oh, we're 2-6. I'm not tied to any Giant factors at this point.
Today's spread picks are brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The season where legends are born on and off the field. Some are last-second plays that turn the tide and change a team's destiny, like a team that might be staring down the barrel of another lost season. So grab your crew, grab a Captain and Cola, and make it a story to remember because legends start when you follow the captain. And hey, you know what? This is a matchup that we do well in historically. Let's follow the captain and continue that history. Visit followthecaptain.com for more. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, NY. Visit CaptainMorgan.com to find Captain near you, and please drink responsibly. You'll be glad you did.
I'll be staring down the barrel of something. Announcement. No formal tailgate this weekend, too. So if you, we will not have a formal tailgate until week 12, where Bobby Skinner will be up for the Bucs game. So there is a list of dates where we will have all of our tailgates. It is not this Sunday, so please don't show up to L16 saying I bought a ticket because chances are we may not be there.
Bobby's still undefeated, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Could be a Darius Slayton revenge game for the game I'm up there.
If he's still here.
Could you imagine Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton being wide receiver 1 and 2 for the Bucs as they come to play us?
Oh my God.
Then they kill us.
No, they're not going to kill us. I'm going to be there.
Oh, that's right, because Bobby's going to be there.
Doing?
Spread picks. The listeners are still in first. Everyone went 4-4 last week except for me. I had a good week at 6-2. The listeners continue to hold the lead at 37-27. Mr. 500 is 6 games above 500, and Jolly Olive at 35-29. And then myself and Justin are both 29-35. So just trying to chip away, right? I'm starting to get a little confidence back. Try and chip away. Thursday night football, Texans at Jets -1.5. The Jets are actually favored in this game. The listeners, represented by Danny Behan, are going Texans +1.5. Justin, who do you got?
I don't like this. Oh, Danny Behan's representing this week?
Yes.
It's going to be horrible for the listeners. Jets are going to cover. I don't like this pick, but this is a weird line.
It's not cover. It's -1.5.
Yeah, they're
favored.
Well, excuse me. Well, as I trash Danny Behan, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Jets are going to win, and the Jets. I'm picking the Jets -1.5. I don't. This is a weird line. It's too weird. I'm buying into it.
Son of a bitch! I thought I was going to be the only one picking the Jets. No Nico, no Diggs. Stroud really did struggle against the Jets last year. I know it's obviously different scenarios, no rain and all that, but I actually got the Jets as well. Jolly, who do you got?
Yeah, I've got the Texans here. This line is funky.
Damn it. I was hoping that Thursday Night Football could make the difference between me and Justin this going into Sunday. All right, we got Broncos, who are a winning team in the playoffs, at Ravens -9. I'm going Broncos +9. I think the Ravens win this game, but just 9 points is a big spread against the number 3 defense in the NFL and the Denver Broncos, and probably like a better than where they're ranked at number 3. So I'm going Broncos +9. The listeners are as well. Jolly, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, Broncos cover. These are 2 really weird spreads back to back. I just feel like the margin is too wide.
Justin.
Ravens cover.
Cowboys at Falcons -3. Listeners are going Falcons. I'm going Falcons too. I think Dallas is a bad team. You know, Dak is capable of winning this game. The Falcons are capable of losing this game. But I just like the Falcons as a better team. So I'm going Falcons -3. The listeners are as well too. Justin, who do you got?
And this could be a sweep game. I have the Falcons -3. I just don't trust the Cowboys as a team right now, even though I don't love the Falcons as a team. But the Cowboys, I dislike more.
Jolly.
Yeah, I went against the Falcons last week, picked the Bucks. So I think I'll just I'll revert course. I'll go make it 4 for 4 Falcons.
Bears at Cardinals -1.5. What about this one, Jolly?
Bears are spiraling. A lot of discussion. Do they have the right guy at the helm?
You're doing a lot of finger stuff. Are you all right?
One of those. Cardinals, please. Thank you very much.
I tell myself I can't take the Bears seriously. But it's just, I like them in these matchups like every single fucking week. So I'm going to go Bears +1.5. I don't love the Cardinals. Listeners agree with me. Justin, where are you going?
I'm going Cardinals. I don't know what Caleb Williams we're going to
He
get.
conquered the Call of Duty curse.
He did.
Yeah, what is
so-
that? Like, I saw that. What does that mean?
Every year when Call of Duty comes out, Kyler's numbers take a downturn for the rest of the year because he's like a big gamer.
Oh.
He loves Call of Duty.
But he had some unconscious.
Oh, so he was like, he knew of that this year, so he really focused this last week, and he conquered the curse. Now he's going to chill.
Oh, sure. But he had some unconscious throws against the
You've
Dolphins.
been
It's like-
saying that.
No, it was like
No, I know, but you like that headline.
awesome nutso
You've been
throws.
using that word.
It's because he was.
Yeah.
He was unconscious because he played Call of Duty.
Well, this week
the night
he's got to
before.
play Jalen Johnson. Wonder if the Bears will
Sure.
bench Tyreek Stevenson after the thing last week.
Probably not.
Lions at Packers +3.5. I mean, this is game of the week. Who do you got in this one, Justin?
Lions. Too much power.
Yeah, I just think the Packers have too many holes, and where they're good, the Lions are good at countering. I'm going Lions as well. Jolly.
Packers have been squeaking by a little bit lately. I think I'm gonna ride the hot hand. I think they're is this 4 wins in a row for them or 3, something like that. I'm gonna take another one for them. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, part of me wants to be like Jordan Love can get this in a shootout and go with you, but I just think the Lions are a much better team. Lions -3.5 for the listeners as well. Rams at Seahawks +1.5. The entire NFC West is 4-4, except for the Rams, who are 3-4. Who do you got in this one, Jolly?
This is probably my toughest one. Really kind of feels like a 50-50 toss-up. I wish you know what? Yeah, I'll go Rams. They get to 500 here.
I agree. I think they're going to get their swagger back a little bit. Listeners agree. Justin, do you agree?
Oh man, I picked Rams on Football Today, but now I want to be different because the Rams don't have a win on the road yet this year.
Oh, good stat.
Screw it. Let's.
What's the reason for that?
It's a good question. You missed the first half of the show.
I did. Thank you.
I want to go. So you see like Daniel Jones home and away splits are. What's the reason for that, Jolly?
It's not the fans.
Well, then what is it? Everyone says it's not the fans. Then what is it?
I mean, it might
Is
be
it-
different for football. In baseball, I never care about home and away splits.
Thank you. I'm the
Never.
same exact way. I'm the same.
But again, I'm saying I care about it because I have to fucking go. Like that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
but what's the
I-
reason?
I didn't
What's the
make it.
reason?
And I'm not getting mad at Bobby. I'm
You're getting
just
mad at me.
I just bring it up, and the reason why I bring it up, and the reason why it's such a big fucking deal, is
he
because
goes.
I fucking go, and how much money comes out of my fucking pocket every year, and they suck. That's why I care.
It's because they're being too hard on him, dude.
Yeah, they're not good on the road either, though. They're
Daniel Jones
they're-
gets booed
they're
wherever
just,
he
but they're
goes.
worse.
They're just 2-2. So who do you got, Justin?
I'm just fuck Rams.
Fuck Rams.
Not that different. Colts at Vikings -5. Who do you got for this one, Justin?
Colts cover, Vikings win.
Colts +5. I got the Vikings. I think Joe Flacco gets put into the fucking ground in this game. Vikings -5. Listeners are going Colts. Jolly, you?
Flacco Magic. Pittman has his best game of the year. Colts win.
How about that? And then Monday Night Football, Bucks at Chiefs -8.5. A very big spread,
Oh,
which makes you want to go Bucks, but then maybe that's the reason why you go Chiefs, is they just end up winning by 10 points for the first time this year. Wouldn't be the first time. They beat the Chargers by 10. I'm going Bucks +8.5, though. This spread is too big. Baker has been putting up a lot of points consistently. Listeners are going Bucks. Justin, who do you got?
Bucks cover and win. Chiefs have to lose eventually.
Jolish?
Mulling, because this is a weird spread, and spread picks are kind of my game. Pride myself on my spread picks. God, I feel like the Bucks will be able to keep this one close and maybe even win. But I will go with the Chiefs.
All right, going against what you think. I like it.
Yes.
All right, score predictions for Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Been the only game the Giants been able to consistently win has been this game over the years. Jolly, what's your score prediction?
Jaden Daniels and Daniel Jones both rolled their ankle in the first quarter.
Oh, my God.
Not season-ending injuries.
Don't say that.
They're fine. They just have to sit out for the rest of the game, and we get a backup QB masterclass. Giants win 28-24.
That would be a masterclass by both those quarterbacks.
Easily.
Drew Lock and Marcus Mariota are like literally the opposite quarterbacks, where Lock is like aggressive way to a fault, and Marcus Mariota is the most conservative quarterback in the NFL, and it grosses me out. Justin, what's your score prediction?
Giants lose 23-6. Still do not score a home touchdown in the last 17 years.
And you're part of the problem.
And I'm part of the problem.
That's right, because you're being too hard on them.
They just don't like playing in front of you guys, is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Man, it's the Giants are 2-6. It's a rough roll. And I hope to get to a point where this isn't obnoxious. Like I hope where it's just fun. We can get to a point to this, but I got to do it. I got to go Giants 77, Commanders 0.
Wow.
There was one. I will never do the 2-0 score against the Commanders, and I'm not supposed to do it more than once per year. So I'm going Giants 77, Commanders 0. We'll see you on Monday for a recap podcast. We'll see you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.